Morning, everybody. I'm going to try to make a short video, although I doubt I will. I got a lot on my mind. So much that I'm thinking about in the world. This whole story with what's going on with the unrest is really upsetting me, mostly because I consider it to be astroturfing. I don't think it's actually organic. And it's upsetting to me how certain people can get away with this in this day and age. And I got a call yesterday at work. The wife of one of the people whose house in our institution upset that in order to get a religious diet, it takes a long time. And I'm not here to reflect on that, really. You know what? I can't even talk about this. So, I'll keep my mouth shut about that. And I work in different places in different states, so nobody's going to know what I'm talking about. This could be ambiguous. But part of what the answer had to do with was the coronavirus. And then this person said, just because the coronavirus, my husband has to starve because he has a religious conviction. And I said, I'm on your side. I have to follow the rules. And this morning I was thinking about that. Just because of the coronavirus, and it's not even because of the coronavirus. It's because the powers that be, mostly led by George Soros, I think, have overblown this, something that shouldn't be any more than, it's not really that much different than a regular flu, probably less dangerous now that we're finding out that probably 90% more people were infected than were previously thought. It's just that it was all, what do they call it, with no asymptomatic. It was all asymptomatic. And so that means that the death rate was infinitesimally small, as horrible as it was. And it's not a joke. We lost great people that we revere very highly. But the fact of the matter is, most of them were already quite ill. They were dying already. And just because certain people not just want to make President Trump look bad, but they're so offended by the fact that we have a president who believes that we, the people, have power and that the government should not have that much power. And not only that, but we have a president who knows all the games that the powers that be have played because he was part of that world for such a long time, that he is able to level the playing field, give the power back to the people, fix all the ills that government created. And these powers that be, both in government and outside of government, are so afraid of losing their power that they're going to vilify a president. They're going to create unrest artificially out of things that happen all the time. And this is back to like World War I, where nobody really knows, really it was, because the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire was assassinated, that's going to lead to a world war, and we don't even know why we're fighting each other. We don't know what's going on. Just because it was like a powder keg just waiting to go off. And here you have, it's like orchestrated, that you have someone who has done this before and has what to gain, and that's George Soros. A real life, like, James Bond type villain. I'm not a James Bond fan, but like, this is like Dr. Evil. This is a real evil supervillain in real life who has manipulated the culture so much to turn our party, which is the party of Lincoln, the party of anti-racism, and still is the party of anti-racism, and still is in the truest sense, and to spin a lie that we're the racists when we're not, when we're the anti-racists, and not only that, but to spin the lie that those who are the real racists, those who are the segregationists to this very day, those who are the people who are obsessed with identity politics, which means that they are racist because they care about race. To the American conservative, there's no difference between skin color and eye color. We don't care what color somebody's skin is. How stupid is that? It's only the Democrats who are obsessed with this, and the other people on the left who are obsessed with these things. Why? Because they want to manipulate people. They want to be able to put people into groups so they can manipulate them. And so to the same thing, this creating unrest, this stirring the pot. How can we get out of this? It's really upsetting to me. And the fascinating thing that I'm seeing is still we're stuck in this us versus them, no matter what. Meaning this is the illness in society that we have to cure. You know, this is what Einstein said, that should be the goal of all true religion, is to recognize how we are part of the greater whole that is the universe, and to eliminate what he called, it's almost like he paraphrased something from the Bowery Boys, an optical delusion that we think that we're somehow separate from this greater whole, this unity of the universe that the one God created, the one God who fills all worlds and surrounds all worlds, that somehow we think we're separate. That's an optical delusion, is what Einstein said, and he was right. And this is what we have to overcome, and stop thinking that it's us versus them. You know, Dr. Stephen Greer always says that you know, this is how these powers that be manipulate people, by turning us against them instead of recognizing our unity, and that the source of this unity is the fact that we are all the creations of a totally unique God that's totally one in the truest sense, in the sense of how Maimonides teaches that if there cannot be any separation in this unity, for this unity to be an authentic unity. And Dr. Greer says this is true throughout the universe. I mean, we have to, meaning the certain powers of evil, the powers of Pirud, the powers of separation, try to say that, you know, we're separate, we're different. So whether it's nations, races, religions, all these things, which again, we can be different without hating other people. We can still see our unity in our diversity. But that's not what the left wants. The left wants diversity for the sake of splitting us up, for the sake of making us fight. And the truth is that this is on an intergalactic level. You know, this is what Dr. Greer is talking about, is that eventually there's going to be this leading to some kind of a phony space war for the sake of this. And this is not, and at this point, it's not even a Republican versus Democrat thing. There are, you know, certain powers that be that are in the shadow government that are illegal and unconstitutional. The truth is, there is, you know, more to this world. There is extraterrestrial forces, some that are good and some that are evil, and among those are the things that bring about these types of viruses and things. They are, you know, they encase their bodies, their souls in these bodies of viruses and bacteria This is what our sages teach. This is what the Malbim brings down. This is what the Shem Shmuel brings down, and other tzaddikim. And the Kalvar Rebbe Shlita, Badal Chaim Tevim, Shev Shlemer brings this down in this week's parsha. And that the way that we fight this is through Torah, because Torah recognize, and prayer, because by this we're recognizing total unity. Yesterday we got into some controversy about Lubavitcher Rebbe. We could talk about that later. I don't want to say Lashon Hara. Like I said, he was a good man, and he deserves love. But nobody's perfect, and I don't want to talk about the negative parts. I was talking about the positive parts, and we see still people cannot bear to see that there's other opinions. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you.